Hello, welcome to the Aegis Interactive Asia Business Mobility Asia Covid-19 Business and Investigations Update, 20th of October 2020. This week we're looking at Vietnam, which I have to say has been one of the quiet achievers in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic so far. Their first case was reported on 23rd of January in 2020, and over the next few weeks, a few more cases related to Wuhan were identified, and the government declared a pandemic on the 1st of February. Vietnam then closed its borders on the 22nd of March and stopped all international flights. Since then, limited flights have been allowed only since the 25th of September from certain Asian cities that the Vietnamese government has deemed have got COVID-19 under control. These include Guangzhou, Seoul, Tokyo, Phnom Penh, Taiwan, Vientiane, and as of last week, Singapore. So Singapore Airlines is now flying 3 or 4 days a week between Singapore and Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh. Other countries and cities will come on board as bilateral agreements are reached. Mask wearing in Vietnam was made compulsory very early on and continues to be required in all public places. I'm told by friends and colleagues over there that most offices are working as normal. There's no real push for work from home, although some multinationals are exploring that as much from a cost-saving perspective as anything else. Restaurants, bars, cafes, entertainment venues are all fully open. Public transport is also back to normal. Domestic travel within Vietnam is not restricted. To date, Vietnam's only reported 1,140 cases and suffered only 35 deaths, which in a population of 95 million people is a pretty good effort, let's face it. For investigations, the bad news is that nobody's going to Vietnam anytime soon, no matter how much we might want to go there. The good news is that we actually have very good resources in Vietnam, in both Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi and all points in between, who can help with any investigation needs that you might have. We can also facilitate a lot of investigations remotely, as a lot of us have learned to do our work remotely since COVID-19 first hit early in the year. So if you have a need to conduct fraud or corruption investigations or deal with any financial crimes, forensic accounting issues, you need to do computer forensic work, conduct due diligence and background investigations, whatever it is really, these can all be done, as can surveillance, which is a pretty popular activity in Vietnam, along with brand protection, also known as counterfeit investigations. As we've mentioned before, we recommend that if you're going to do interviews, they should be done remotely using Zoom, Teams, Skype, and similar applications. Local translators can be obtained to assist if language is an issue. Now, if you are lucky enough to find a way to get into Vietnam, you're going to need a visa no matter what. You won't be going as a tourist. There's no visa-free entry. All travellers will need proof of relevant COVID-19 tests. Please check the immigration and airline websites closer to your going, because things, as we've seen, change quickly. For business travellers, and they're very limited as to what you can go in as a business traveller, if you're staying more than 14 days, you will need proof of health insurance cover for COVID-19 specifically, and or a letter from your sponsor saying they will cover all of your costs should you become ill. You may have to serve 14 days quarantine in a hotel, at home, in a health facility, if you've been in close proximity of someone who's tested positive or showing symptoms of COVID-19. So it's a bit of a lottery. You may have to do quarantine, you may not. It may not depend on you, it might be entirely on someone else. Now, if you're going for less than 14 days as a business traveller, you'll need all of that. Again, no quarantine is required unless someone gets sick. You have a lot of restrictions on you if you're going in for less than 14 days. You must have a fixed agenda, which is approved by the health department, and you'll be nominated which hotels you can stay in, and you can't move from the agenda that you've given. You won't be going out for cold beer with the locals at night. That much is for sure. Now, if you do need to quarantine in Vietnam, there are 4 options, and the government will decide where you're going to stay depending on your symptoms and the conditions at the time. So quarantine's more like Russian roulette than a lottery. So next week, we're going to look at the Philippines, which has been a very interesting place since COVID started. That will be fun. In the meantime, you can find this video as well as the ones we did for Singapore and Indonesia in the previous weeks on our dedicated COVID-19 website, businessmobilityasia.com, where we also have updates on the travel, investigation, and business issues in most of Asia. You can also look at our main website, aegisinteractiveasia.com, and we're also on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and even YouTube. So until next week, stay safe, keep wearing your masks, practice social distancing, keep working from home, because we don't want any second or third waves, please. Thank you.